ओके आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे हाइपरबोला। हाइपरबोला is the set of all points in a plane such that the difference of their distance from two fixed points foci to a point on a hyperbola hold of constant quantity. You can see here that let P be any point in a plane and the two fixed points are F1 and F2 and their distance of F1 to P and distance of F2. If we take a difference of these two distances d1 and d2, then it's hold the same or constant quantity. So such set of all the points whose difference of distance from two fixed point is a constant quantity, that set of those set of points is known as hyperbola. And similarly, like ellipse, there are two focus points or foci of a hyperbola and two vertices of a hyperbola. But the difference between the hyperbola and ellipse is that is in ellipse we take the set of all points sum of whose sum from a fixed point or sum of distances from a fixed point have a constant quantity. But in hyperbola we take the distance of a fixed point two fixed point to a single point whose difference has a constant quantity. And the next thing is that in hyperbola you can see here that uh, there are two foci. Let's suppose the foci 1 f1 is minus c0 and f2 is c0, which are at a distance of c from a center. And the next thing is that and the and the next thing is that uh, it vertices are two vertices v1 and v2, v1 minus a0 and v2 a0, which is on the x-axis and at a distance of af from the center. And now we can see here that there are two axes the ellipse we have two axes. The first one is transverse axis, as the hyperbola is symmetrical about the x-axis. So we can say that x-axis is a transverse axis and the conjugate axis is y-axis. And you can see here that the distance, let's suppose P is the point and its distance from F1 is d1 and its distance from F2 is d2. So the difference of these distances d1 minus d2 is a constant quantity, and the standard form of equation of hyperbola is x square by a square, and the standard form of equation of hyperbola is x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to e, or is equal to, we can see that is equal to 1. We know that in ellipse it must be said that a square must be greater than b square, but there is no restriction in the greaterness of a square or b square in the hyperbola. Similarly, in hyperbola, in ellipse, c square is equal to a square minus b square, but in hyperbola, this quantity changes slightly. How it changes, like c square is equal to a square plus b square. So this is the basic things about the hyperbola. Now we will move toward the solution of standard form of hyperbola.